What's up, guys? This is your friendly neighborhood Extreme Spidey Guy here, and today I'm going to be doing a movie review on The Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, directed by Mark Webb. So, how is this movie made? Well, development of the film began following the cancellation of Spider-Man 4 in January 2010, ending director Sam Raimi's Spider-Man film series that originally featured Tobey Maguire as the titular superhero. Columbia Pictures opted to reboot the franchise with the same production team along with Vanderbilt to stay with writing the next Spider-Man film. While Sargent and Cloves helped the script as well during pre-production, the main characters were cast in 2010. New designs were introduced. Sorry, that was just my phone. New designs were introduced from the comics, such as artificial web shooters using Red Digital Cinema camera companies. Red Epic Camera principal photography started in December 2010 in Los Angeles before moving to New York City. The film entered post-production in April 2010. The Reality Techna provided 3D image processing, while Sony Pictures Imageworks handled CGI effects. This was also the final American film to be scored by James Horner and released during his lifetime. 3 years before his death, on June 22, 2015, from an aircraft accident, as well as penny limited film for both production designer J. Michael Riva and one of the producers, Laura Ziskin, who died on June 7, 2012, and June 12, 2011, respectively. J. Michael Riva's last film as production designer was Django Unchained, released 5 months later, and Ziskin's last film as producer was The Butler, released 1 year later in 2013. Sony Pictures Entertainment built a promotional website, releasing many previews and launching a viral marketing campaign, among other moves. Tie-ins included a video game by Beenox and Activision. The film premiered on June 30th, 2012 in Tokyo and was released in the US on July 3rd. 10 years after the release of Spider-Man from 2002, in 2D, 3D, and IMAX 3D formats. It received mostly positive reviews from critics, who praised Garfield's performance as Spider-Man, the chemistry between Stone and Garfield, the visual effects, the music score. However, criticism was directed towards some of the plot elements. The film was a box office success, grossing $758 million worldwide, becoming the seventh highest grossing film of 2012. A sequel, the god-awful Amazing Spider-Man 2, was released on May 2nd, 2014. Garfield and Evans reprised their roles in their final MCU film, Spider-Man No Way Home, in 2021. Which dealt with the concept of the multiverse and linked that franchise to the Raimi and Webb installments. So what's the story of this movie? Abandoned by his parents and raised by an aunt and uncle, teenager Peter Parker, played by Andrew Garfield, aka Spider-Man, is trying to sort out who he is and exactly what his feelings are for his first crush, Gwen Stacy, played by Emma Stone. When Peter finds a mysterious briefcase that was his father's, he pursues a quest to solve his parents' disappearance. His search takes him to Oscorp and the lab of Dr. Kirk Connors, played by Rhys Ifans, setting him on a collision course with Connors' alter ego, the Lizard. So, what do I think of this movie? This movie is amazingly underrated, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, I wish we could have gotten Spider-Man 4, but I still enjoy this movie as a guilty pleasure, none other than last. Great performances from Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Rhys Ifans, Dennis Leary, Martin Sheen, Sally Field, and Irfan Khan. The battles are definitely awesome, especially the final battle as well with like the lizard and then like Gwen Stacy tries and Gwen Stacy's father like helps Spider-Man and then Spider-Man like cures the lizard and then the lizard and then the lizard like kills his Gwen Stacy's dad and then and then Kurt Connors is arrested for like trying to transform people into lizards. And yeah, I wish we could have at least gotten Dylan Baker back for the Amazing Spider for the role of Kurt Connors, but Rhys Ifans still did a great job playing Kurt Connors, in my opinion. And I do also like him in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Andrew Garfield is definitely an underrated Spider-Man actor, in my opinion. Not close to topping Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire, but I still like him as Spider-Man nonetheless. And Emma Stone definitely did an awesome job as Gwen Stacy as well. And I also did like Stan Lee's cameo in this movie as a guy working at the library. And the origin story is definitely, and they did actually have the origin story in this film, but it was definitely good to see it. But um but as for my bad qualities, I would say for the second bad quality I have with the film, it was kind of a rehash of like the first Sam Raimi film at times. Because like Spider-Man, Peter gets bit by a spider and then goes to like a wrestling match and then his Uncle Ben dies, but in this movie it's obviously different. Peter gets bitten by a spider and then like gets and then goes to a grocery store, hangs out with like Kurt Connors, and then his Uncle Ben dies. And definitely I did like how the tone went with like I did like how the movie was like going to like compete with The Dark Knight, because the movie is definitely edgy and dark, because I know Spider-Man sometimes has like edgy moments. Like I know he's supposed to have a lighthearted tone, but I know he sometimes has like edgy moments. Like I remember like in Spider-Man Unlimited, I think like one of the firemen like destroyed his mask, and in Spider-Man Far From Home, he killed Mysterio instead of actually arresting him, and then in No Way Home, his Aunt May died. Excuse me. Now for the bad qualities. Now, despite Andrew Garfield doing an awesome job as Peter Parker, he didn't really seem like Peter Parker and just felt like Harry Osborn, so maybe it was a little miscast or something like that. But Andrew Garfield is still a good actor to me. He's very talented, nonetheless. And the origin story, I said, at times did kind of feel like a rehash of the first Sam Raimi film. But those bad qualities never stopped me from like enjoying this movie. And in fact, the movie is not actually boring compared to Fant Force or compared to Fant Force Suck or the god awful Fantastic Four movie from 2015. It's actually a fun movie though. So that's all I'm going to talk about for The Amazing Spider-Man, and here's how I'm going to rate it. I am going to give The Amazing Spider-Man a 9 out of 10. So tell me your thoughts on The Amazing Spider-Man. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you think it's okay? Do you think it's overrated? Just let me know in the comments below. And coming up next is going to be for the rant on the god-awful Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, until next time, with great power comes great responsibility.